Hello there, David with another video for you. Now, before I start, I want to stress that there are no paid promotions associated with this video whatsoever. I always on this channel like to give a shout out to any suppliers or manufacturers that I use their stuff. It's only fair, okay? I wouldn't be getting it if it wasn't good stuff. What am I going to be talking about? Well, it's those piles of shame, or piles of opportunity, as one of the lads on the Terminator Genesis board likes to call them. I have been a very good boy in recent times. Last year I didn't buy a single miniature or a single piece of terrain. The only thing that I got were supplies and crafting materials for use in the builds. And I made really good headway into an awful lot of the backlog of miniatures that were sitting on the pile of opportunity. This does not mean that the pile is not growing. Quite possibly, like me, when you have a particular hobby, it means that for birthdays and Christmases and things like that, buying presents for you is really easy. Your family and friends will just go into a game shop and say, oh, I'll have one of those for them, and there you go. And it's all greatly appreciated, but it does mean that despite your best intentions, the pile keeps growing. And that brings us to our first unboxing. Last year I spent an awful lot of time on the channel doing the Terminator Genesis Slow Grow Force Creation Challenge. That's always a mouthful. And there was a competition associated with it, and I entered and I came in second. My prize has finally arrived. Woohoo! Thank you, Stefano. I will obviously blur the box because I don't want any address details or anything like that to show up, but this is what arrived. Let's see how well he packaged it. Now, one thing I did say, because it was being sent from Italy over to New Zealand, the postage can be very, very expensive, going from other parts of the world to, well, basically what is an island at the backside of the planet where men are men and sheep are nervous. So I did say to him, you know, to cut down on volume, take stuff out of the package and get it as small and cheap as you possibly can. Right, what do we have? So this is all Warlord Games products. It is from their Project Z range, and I have a special ops team. Right, I can see what he has done, and to cut down on the packaging, he's actually popped some of it into the original boxes. So there's the special ops team, there is a biker gang, interspersed amongst them is also a zombie horde, and we've got a vehicle. This is resin and metal Humvee. So that is going to be a nice little addition. The biker gang is going to be pretty generic. I can use that for Terminator or any modern stuff, and I've also got superheroes coming up, so that will be good to have as a minor encounter. The special ops team and the Humvee will go together, and that can be used amongst a number of games. The zombies, you can't go wrong with a zombie plague. So that is absolutely brilliant, and it is more miniatures to be painted, but I will be getting on with these very shortly. So thank you very much, Stefano, for getting this to me, and thank you for Paul Sawyer and the guys over at Warlord Games for sponsoring and giving prizes to that event. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Now, I'm not saying that the good lady wife doesn't need professional help, but the prosecution would argue that she married me. We do, however, have this mutual understanding. She doesn't drag me around clothes shopping. and I don't drag her into game shops. I don't know why, because at the end of the day I can't recall a time where I've stood in a game shop and said, hey hun, does this trading card game make my bum look fat? However, just before Christmas she did have occasion to take a road trip, and she was passing through a city in the South Island of New Zealand called Dunedin, and they had a particular hobby store that I had heard of, so I did plead a bit. Now obviously my earlier statement of just being able to go into a game shop and say I'll have one of those doesn't apply to the wife. So yes, she did need professional help, and two very kind gentlemen came to her rescue, Liam and Wilson from Hobby Lords, thank you very much, and they gave her a hand with a couple of selections. Now the first one, a little bit sus, WizKids Mini. It's a executioner with chopping block. Quite possibly that was the frame of mind that she was in at the time. I'm going to have to watch me step in future. And another WizKids one, a nice big grand cannon. And it's got to be said, my, oh God, dwarven army of 30 years is definitely in need of some artillery upgrades. So I know exactly where that one's going. But on the scenery front, another WizKids Deep Cuts Pillars and Banners. I am not 100% sure what I am going to do with this one. They are very nice. It does lend itself to being included in a larger diorama. But what I think I may well do is just give them a paint job, use them as kind of dungeon scatter to start off with until I, you know, come up with a better idea of something to insert them into. So yes, that's definitely a good one. So, thanks very much guys, greatly appreciated. Damsel in distress and all that, if you think that. Speaking of other family members, moving on to number one son. He got me this pile. Bit of work there for me. This is the Sci-Fi Slum Bundle, and it's from a New Zealand manufacturer. It is Titan Terrain NZ, and I've actually used one of their kits before. It was the Quick Start Ruins kit. I will leave a link to the video that I did on that up there, I think. And really good stuff. Really enjoyed working with it. And it is very appropriate because I do want to get a bit more into science fiction stuff this year. I noted in the roundup that I did for last year that there was quite a lack of sci-fi stuff in all of the stuff that I'd done then. So this year I really do need to make up for that. And this will be an excellent start. One thing that I will say is that it doesn't come with instructions. When you order it, when they give the sort of shipping confirmation, they'll send you an email out and all of the PDFs for the instructions are all in there. And I've had a look through them and they look pretty easy to follow, okay? So I will get on with those, probably off camera because there's quite a bit to do there. Now, I mentioned just before about superheroes. One of the big reasons why I didn't buy anything last year was because I was expecting the arrival of a Kickstarter. It's a big Batman miniatures bundle that I backed back in the middle of 2022, and unfortunately there's been a few delays with manufacturing. That is hopefully going to be arriving with me maybe the back end of March, possibly April. But in anticipation of that, I did make a couple of purchases from various places. Over here we have a stockist called Mighty Ape. I guess for you guys in the rest of the world, it's like a localized version of Amazon. You can buy absolutely anything there. And that is definitely one of my go-to shops to get from locally, because, you know, brick and mortar shops down here are a little bit flaky on the kind of stuff that I am after. And I'm getting old and it gets delivered to the door. You know the drill. So, one thing that I decided that I could not do without for a superhero setting was a police station. So, this is from War Cradle Scenics, NYPD Police Station, that has to be built up. That's one to get off the pile this year. This one's hardly going to fit in frame. Can you see that? Alright, this beast is another one that I got from Mighty Ape, but the supplier is back in my home area, the northeast of England. It is Amira Mouldings, and I do like their stuff. It's vacuum plastic, and this is a big municipal, like a city hall or something like that. Again, ideal for superhero setting. And when this came up on sale, I thought, yeah, I've got to have one of those. So this one is more than likely one that I am going to do on camera, because I haven't done a build of these for a while. So look out for that one. And last but by no means least, I have a mystery box. And it's a big heavy beast at that. And to be perfectly honest, apart from it being a city set of some kind, I can't actually remember what it is. Again, this is one that I purchased a couple of years ago. I always meant to do an unboxing video for it. It has been sitting glaring at me from the side of the game room, and I am going to unbox it now, and I honestly cannot remember what it was that I bought. Again, it was from Mighty Ape. Let's see what is in here. Okay. Advertising flyer. Chances are well out of date. Ah, right, okay. I did grab some crafting supplies and evergreen scale models, things like girders. This is I-beam for small scale stuff, just to add a little bit of detail. So yeah, I could have done with that. I'd forgotten I'd got that. I'll add that to the stocks. And here we are. Oh, grief. Hang on, I'll get this box out of the way. Oh, right, okay. So, Tabletop Scenics is the manufacturer here. And it is the Infinity Business District. So it's sci-fi stuff. That'll go dead good with the stuff my son got us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buildings, some scatter terrain there. So MDF grey board and resin. Again, it looks like I've got an awful lot of building to do for that. There you go, it looks like I've got my work cut out for me. But at least it's going to keep us off the streets and out of the wife's hair. Alright, that about wraps it up for this one. I will link all of the suppliers and manufacturers down in the description at the bottom if you want to check out their stuff. As I say, I wouldn't be buying it if I didn't like it, so take that as a recommendation, or with a pinch of salt, it's up to you. Otherwise, please, you know, hit the like, subscribe, do all that social media good stuff. Something a little bit more creative next time. I think probably I'm going to do another figure painting one, because I do have some part filmed stuff that I need to get finished, and they are on the run up to a larger build that I am going to be doing hopefully in the not too distant future. But until then, enjoy your gaming, keep building, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.